So the topic for tonight's call is challenge groups. And I'm actually surprised it's been a very long time since we've done a call on challenge groups because it is such an important part of our business. And it's probably also partly what inspired most of us on the call to become coaches. So it's really important for us to make sure we are putting out some great motivational material and keeping the energy up in these groups, the engagement up in these groups, because it's from that experience that one, our customers and discount coaches are going to get the best results, and two, it's going to want to inspire our customers and discount coaches to start actively coaching and become a part of our awesome team. You know, that's the reason I became a coach was my experience in a challenge group. So since day one, it's been really important to me to really make sure that we're rocking these challenge groups. And I think, you know, most of the coaches who have come on to the team also started in a challenge group and loved the experience. I really do equate, you know, the vibe we have going on in our team to be like one step up from a challenge group. Like it starts with that kind of community vibe there. And I tell that to people, I say, if you love this part, this community, this accountability, this, you know, positive stuff going on here, then you've got a coach because we're doing the same thing just on the business end of things. So I'm going to start really briefly talking about a couple things, but really I am excited to have Stephanie Bierce share like a point system that she does in her challenge groups, and she offers rewards to people based on the points, which I've never committed to it fully. Like I've done portions of my challenge group doing it. Lisa, you've probably been in when I've done that. Like if I hear people kind of getting really quiet, I'll be like, let's have a like challenge, guys. And somebody gets a prize at the end after maybe like a week or a weekend or things like that. So I'm excited to hear what Stephanie's doing. And Lisa actually ran a full challenge group in the new Challenge Tracker app, which if you don't know what that is, check it out. I'm like 90% sure I'm going to run my next challenge group in it. I have a problem with change. But I know this is going to be huge for all of us. Like basically in this app, people are able to check in with their Shakeology, check in with their workout, interact with the posts that are going on. And this is going to really allow us to keep our customers accountable. Like if we start, like in our Facebook groups, if we don't really see people posting, we can kind of maybe guess they're falling off track. But in the app, like if they're not checking in, we can be like, hey, you're not checking in. And we know for a fact that they're not logging in. So it's kind of awesome. So I'm excited to hear Lisa talk about that. A couple points that I want to make on challenge groups. So having a preseason week, I think, is incredibly important, especially if you're running a group that's specific to nutrition. Reason being, and really push back on your challenges on this one, guys, because I don't know about you, but I have a lot of customers who I'm like, okay, preseason starts on this date and, you know, we're going to go over the nutrition side. Oh, no, I need to start now. I got my package in. I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm like, you can't start tomorrow. You got a meal plan. You got a grocery shop. This is not going to work unless you take your time and do it. Yeah, Lisa. So, and truly, and I explained to them, like the people who have the best results are the ones who take the time to read through the nutrition guide. Nutrition's like 80% of this. Let's learn it from the inside out. Let's understand these containers. Let's meal prep. Let's meal plan. Let's have a time for you to ask questions. And then we can jump in full on for those next 3 weeks. So think about that, especially guys. I don't know, you know, if you're jumping into the group I'm planning on hosting on the 20th, or if you're doing your own, but either way, I really recommend having a preseason week. I actually even have the content for a preseason week already written out. Maybe Lisa does too. We could kind of like combine forces and come up with like a team-wide, amazing, helpful preseason week that no one even has to put more time into creating. But I promise you, it's going to help your challengers. So preseason week is huge. Secondly, I don't know how many of you all know this, but in the Coach Online office, there are actually challenge group templates for every single program in existence. Well, I don't know every single program, but the big ones, there definitely are. So it's worth it if you're running a challenge group specific to a program, or even if you just want to get some ideas on how to do a post on Shakeology, you know, how to do a post on a certain program or workout or something like that, just check out those guides. There are so many resources in the Coach Online office that is there for your taking to use. So don't feel like you always have to be creating your own content, because there is a lot that's already built for you. That said, make sure you're infusing your vibe. There's a reason that people asked you to be their coach. So make sure that the people that you're attracting, you know, into your business and sort of your, you know, your thing, make sure you're infusing that into your challenge groups and keep up the energy. And that's really going to help your challenge groups be really engaging and successful too. Are there any questions on that before we move over to Stephanie? Cool. Okay, Stephanie, you're on. I'm really excited about this because it's something I've been wanting to do. So take it away.
Hi, guys. Sorry, I look absolutely exhausted right now. I'm still in my office. I was trying to just pull up the thing to show you, and it's taken a second, but I can just explain it first. So when I first started, I had a hard time getting my group to participate, which I know we've probably all struggled with at one point or another. So I ended up running, Jocelyn and I did it together, and we ended up running like the last 5 days or so, our participation challenge, which was awesome. And then we did a prize for the first person, or the first place person. And it really upped the participation for that 5 days. So then when I started, because I think that was in February. So when I started one in, March is the next month. I'm sorry, guys. When I started one in March, I kind of wanted to get from the get-go, like have it start off strong. And I never meant to like make this become a thing, but it has been something that my challengers actually look forward to every month now, and they get wicked into it and wicked excited and want to know where they are and want to know if we're doing it. So what happens is I post, I do the prep week that Lindsay was talking about, because I think that's really important, even for the people who are still continuing, because who can't use a refresher on their nutrition, because not everybody's killing it 100% of the time. So even during that, so the end of, it depends, beginning or end of the prep week, whenever I kind of remember to do it, I'll post a participation challenge for like the whole overarching month. And I'm going to show you guys my actual points system, and then I'm actually going to post it in the group too, so you don't have to like remember it if you don't want to. But it's like 20 points for a video, 10 points for a sweaty selfie, all the way down to just liking a post gets 1. It is a lot of work. I'm going to warn you, I had no idea it was this much work to like keep track of every day, and it took me probably 2.5 months before I actually had like a system down. But for my group, and because my challengers work like it and it motivates them and they look forward to it, and it like pushes them that much further, knowing that they can earn points for posting, but they want to be posting when they're doing things on track with their plan, it helps actually keep people even more accountable. So so what I do is every morning, Facebook is kind of nice. I don't know how I do this for the Challenge Tracker app. I haven't thought about that yet, because I haven't run one yet. But so what I do is every morning, luckily in the groups, you guys notice that like the most recent thing pops up. I'm sure you know this is Facebook, pops up to the top of the screen. So in the last 24 hours, I'll check. So yesterday was June 1st. Thanks, Lisa. Yesterday was June 1st. So this morning, it's actually going to be tonight because this morning sucked. You know, I'll go back in, and as I go down the list, it'll actually show you everything from yesterday. So maybe not a post from yesterday, but you can still catch people's comments, like if it came in after the fact. So I do that every morning. If you're going to do this, I'm going to definitely say try to do it every morning, and don't let like 2 or 3 days go by, because then that becomes a week, and then it takes 2 hours to try to like get everybody's up while you're going backwards. And so it does catch up to you. So just some tips that I've learned, because at one point I had to do like 2 weeks in a row, and it literally took me almost 4 hours, and I just couldn't do it. And Lindsay, maybe there's a way to, probably, yeah. And if anybody decides to try this, please let me know what you end up coming up with for a system, because I'm still trying to figure this out for myself. But can I share my screen? Is that a thing? How do I do that?
Yep. So there's actually going to be on the bottom. I think it's the bottom of the screen. Right in the middle, up middle bottom. And I made you the host, so you'll be able to do it.
Okay. Do you guys see what I'm showing you? I guess maybe.
Not yet.
And it's frozen. It's special.
Let me make sure that you're definitely still the host.
Okay. Well, why won't this go away?
Oh, and then on the top left, it'll say desktop. Like you have to click from one more screen. There you go. Now we see it.
Okay, sorry guys.
Don't worry.
Okay. I don't want to leave. Leave me alone. Okay. So I ended up doing it on, this is this month. And it's only half of it because the other one is in another group. Shocker. What I actually did for myself was I have all of my challengers listed on the left there. And I have the one that I actually enter things into and then a blank one that I can actually print out and do tally marks each morning, which makes it a lot easier than trying to be like, all right, 2 for you, and then kind of re-add from everywhere. So I'll print these out in like batches of 10 at a time. And then just do this in the morning. But this is the key that I use down here. So a like is 1 point. I did not do likes on comments because holy mother of God, you would never be able to keep up.
I mean, likes in general, I feel like that's something. Because with a huge group, like as your groups grow.
Yeah, I'm thinking about taking it off because I get more people every month and it gets bigger and bigger and it's just.
Yeah, and truly, and we can talk about this more after, but like, these are the things that as you start to grow, you need to reprioritize because we're also, as much as we want people to engage in our groups, we also have to balance that without the amount of time we have to run our business. Mm-hmm. So I would rather you spending time connecting with people than, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going to get frustrated. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm spending hours on this.
Yeah. My plan this weekend is to kind of like revamp the way I do things. I already have like 5 new people for next month and this list is already giant and so, which is an awesome thing. It's just a lot when everybody's liking everything.
Totally.
So for a comment, I do 2 points. A post that doesn't fall into any of the categories, you get 2 points because Jocelyn and I had kind of decided when we were talking it out a couple months ago that you should get, if you're going to be brave and post in the group, because for a lot of people, it's a big deal to put a post up. We wanted to make sure that people were still getting recognized for that.
I like that. I think that's great.
Thank you. A healthy meal is 5 points, whether it's just telling about it or a picture. I tell everybody I like pictures better, so they flood them with it, which is nice. A check-in about your workout is 5 points because not everybody is comfy with a sweaty selfie. It took my girlfriend, Abby, who's a very outgoing person. Lindsay's talked to her before. It took her like 2 months to be comfortable posting a sweaty selfie. So that way other people can still get points, but they don't necessarily have to show themselves. And then a workout video is 20 because that's pretty legit and a lot of people don't like doing that. So I will post this in the group. I'm rambling at this point, but this is kind of the system that I use and it's worked really well for my group. I don't know who you have for your challengers. I don't know if something like this or like a smaller week-long would be better because sometimes some people in the group will kind of fizzle out towards the end because they forget that it's a thing. So maybe start off with like a week or something there, but just wanted to show you guys what it is that I use. And it's been really beneficial for my groups. So I like it.
No, I love it. Thank you, Stephanie. The other thing I loved that you were doing at one point is you kind of had like themed challenges each week, which I think is kind of cool too. And it could even lessen the amount of points you're counting because it's focused on maybe one element of, you know what I'm saying, one element of a specific kind of challenge each week. Mm-hmm. So that I thought was interesting too. Like I feel like you did an H2O challenge one week. You did
a nutrition,
a healthy, like a nutrition challenge one week, like stuff like that, which I thought was really cool.
So those have been fun. I can post like the posts that I put up for those too, just so you guys can see. Like the nutrition one was everybody had to take a picture of everything that they ate in a day, put it in a collage and put it up at the end. And then the person who did that every day won a little prize. And like, you can't break the bank with prizes because it can add up very quickly if you're like rewarding people with things everywhere. So, you know, I'll do Shakeology samples if I have some, or I ended up getting, I don't even remember how, a box of like 6 of the shaker bottles for the 3-day refresh for like $5 at one point. So like when they run little things like that in Beachbody, like in the shop, then sometimes I'll get a box of those just to have it to hand out for prizes and things like that. So
Oh, I love it. And I think I was listening to a video at one point that it was similar to what you're doing. But one of the points in it was like referring a friend, you know, and I thought that was kind of genius.
yeah.
Because like here they are experiencing this amazing, you know, thing going on in our challenge group. Like, why wouldn't they invite a friend? But some people just don't think about it. Like they literally, it's not that they don't want to invite a friend and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. It's just that when you're not a coach, you're not exactly thinking about bringing other people on board. So just giving that added like incentive, I think is kind of a cool thing too. And I think they did it for like 20 points or something like that, because obviously it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should mastermind about that a little bit more. Yes, Lori, it was the National Wake Up Call. Good call.
Oh.
Trying to think who was it. It wasn't Tara Balick. I forget who it was, but that was a good call. And if you haven't watched that National Wake Up Call, it does talk a lot about challenge groups and making sure people are being engaged. So definitely check out that call. So thank you, Stephanie. That's awesome. I think it's something we should definitely implement into our challenge groups as, you know, for a team as a whole, and we can test it out and kind of tweak it and make sure that, you know, it's not taking us a ton of time to do, but that it is helping engagement in the groups. So thank you for that. Does anyone else have any thoughts or things that are working in their groups or anything that you want to share kind of on that topic?
I love it. I think it's really fun. I would agree though, because I feel like if I'm bored, sometimes I just like random shit to like random shit. Like there's no, I just, you know, it's a bad habit.
You
so
like
I think so I think kind of streamlining it would be helpful, because, you know, someone could just sit there in bed and just like everything just to get points. And it's like, you're not necessarily like reading and contributing all the time. Sometimes like liking stuff is so easy. So I think just streamlining it, but I think it'd be fun, because I think like that's one of my struggles is like, I can check in with challengers all day, but some of them just like aren't comfortable posting. And I was the same way. I was like, what the hell are these people doing? Like, just make it stop. So you just have to like warm up to it. So it's a nice way to like warm people up real quick.
And I was that annoying challenger who was literally posting every single meal. Guys, look at my eggs. Guys, look at my Shakeology. Hey, check out my sweaty selfie. Guys, look at my lunch.
I remember Cindy was doing videos and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this.
Oh, man.
Everyone's different.
Everyone's different. And that's why I do like the fact, Stephanie, that you have a really broad spectrum of things. Then I do like that you have a point for people who just post, like anyone who posts, because you're encouraging people to do that. So that's really great. Sweet. Okay, so Lisa, let's talk about the Challenge Tracker app.
So Stephanie, I think first of all, kicking this off, like I feel like the Challenge app could actually help in a sense, because I'll get into it, but it shows like the activity and like what everyone's doing, like in terms of like posting and stuff, so you can keep track of it easier. But I ran a challenge group back in, I don't know, some month earlier this year. And I enjoyed it. There was like some perks and some like things I would try differently. But are you guys familiar with it at all? Like how it's set up, how you have like an app and a portal? No? Okay. So essentially as a coach, you can access everything online. You set it all up. It's pretty much like Facebook in terms of commenting and liking and stuff, but just not in Facebook. And then you have the physical app that everyone in your challenge group will download, including yourself. Oh my gosh, Sam, your puppy's so cute. So starting with the portal, which is online, that is where we go to set up the whole thing. So you can actually schedule all of your posts. You can upload files. You invite all of your challengers via email. And then pretty much you become a stalker, because it will list all of your challengers, when they logged their workout, if they logged their workout, if they logged their Shakeology, what their measurements are, what their before pictures look like, any activity that they're logging, you can stalk them, which is cool because you can start to see like, okay, Lindsay hasn't checked in 5 days. Maybe I should check in with Lindsay. And sometimes it's life gets in the way. Sometimes they just, like, their notifications are turned off on the app and they forget. And that's something else that we can see too. So we can say, hey, like, I noticed you haven't been checking in. Your notifications aren't on. So it helps us keep better track of our challengers, because you are going to have those people that just don't want to comment. They just follow along. And what's nice now is that when the app first came out, only one coach could access the portal. So for challenge groups that our team runs, it was a pain in the butt, because it's not Lindsay's job to look after everyone's challengers. It's your job to be responsible for your challengers. So you can actually now add up to 10 coaches to the portal, which is nice, because regardless of who sets it up, every coach has the same coach access, which I think is amazing. But then in terms of the challenger side, you have the challenge group or the challenge tracker app, and it's available for Apple and it's available for Android. So everyone's covered. Nobody's freaking out. But what they do is you just have to be upfront with them and let them know, like, this group is run through an app. You need to download the app. You need to log on, because what we'll do is send them when we set the group up, we shoot them an email and it sends them a code, and that's how they join the challenge group via the app. So that's kind of a pain in the ass, because you can't just add them to a group and call it a day. You have to kind of let them know up front kind of what's going on, how this is going to work, and then follow up, because if not, they won't add themselves to the group. And then you can't add them either. So they're not getting the benefit of the challenge group. But once they download the app, they log in with their Beachbody account information, and they'll use their code to sign up into the challenge group app. And what's really cool from a challenger's perspective, I signed my husband up so I could see it from, like, the challenger side and, like, the coach side a couple months ago. So when they first log on every day, when they first log on for the first time, it prompts them to do their measurements. It prompts them to put in their goals, take their before pictures. What flavor Shakeology are they drinking? Are they using Performance Line? Are they using Shakeology Boost? The whole shebang. It prompts them to do that immediately. Yeah, I think so too, Lindsay. So that takes the guesswork out for us to be like, did you take your befores? Did you take your measurements? Granted, they can skip that part, but I found that when I did it, a lot of people were taking befores. Like, they want to do it. I think it's just sometimes you need to be told to do it. Like, reading it in a book doesn't mean much sometimes. So once the whole thing is set up, your challengers are able to log their workouts every day, log their Shakeology every day. And what's cool is that it gives them a check mark. So I actually have a challenger who hates the Facebook groups now, loves the challenge tracker because it gives her a check mark. So, like, knowing she's going to get a check mark for doing her workout makes her so happy. She's actually I set up a group for her. I don't post in it. She just does check marks every day. The thing's like 200 days long, and she loves it. So I go in and I check on her stuff every once in a while, but the check mark makes her so happy. But when they first open that app in the morning or whenever, the first thing that shows up is what your coach posted that day. So whatever you had posted doesn't get lost in all of the other information, the sweaty selfies, the meals. So that's kind of what they see at the forefront of every day. So you get that motivation going, you get them in the right mindset, and then they can switch over to kind of the news feed of the group. They can like stuff, they can comment on stuff, just as they would in Facebook. And then they still have access to, updating their goals, seeing their progress, looking at their measurements, the whole shebang. But what else is really cool is, like, you can set up a reminder. So if you tell the reminder, like, if I haven't logged my workout by 5 p.m., send me a notification. And it'll be like, FYI, you haven't done your workout today. And you're like, oh shit. It's just like another step of accountability, which is really, I think it's really helpful. And then the last thing I love is, depending on how you feel as a coach, you can add your phone number, your email, whatever, and they have direct access through this app to call you, to text you, to shoot you a message, to shoot you an email, which really does enhance that kind of one-on-one. So, maybe they're not comfortable posting in the group, but now that they have your number, they could text you. So I think overall, I loved the group. And I think now knowing that a lot of coaches can join makes it a little bit more adaptable for our team. But I think there's a lot of people out there that aren't big on the Facebook group because they're not just big Facebook people to begin with. I've had challengers in the past, and I had one girl in the portal, like the tracker app, and she's in my current Facebook group now. She's not a Facebook girl. Like, she just doesn't like the thing. But in that app, she was all over that shit like white on rice. Like, she was commenting on everything. So I think it's kind of this own separate identity. You don't feel like it's social media. You feel like it's more like just this accountability team thing. And I also think it kind of looks more professional instead of like, let me add you to a Facebook group. It's like we had this special app designated just for challenge groups. So I think, Lindsay, like you said, I think the next group I do know the next group is going to be a challenge group through the app. And you can schedule videos, you can schedule posts, like it's the same thing. So you still have that access. You don't have to use Postcron or anything, which is really nice. So does that answer do you guys have any questions?
I love it so much too, because it's another way to reach people outside of Facebook. Like, I'm growing an Instagram account. I don't know how many people are into Instagram. I'm still trying to figure out how to get customers from Instagram. But I think that this is the way. Like, I don't know how many of you have heard of Kayla. Is it It Signs?
It's Zenas.
Okay. You know how she's always promoting her app, her like free app, the whole thing? Like, this gives us the tool we need. Like, this is like, we're all a bunch of Kaylas. Like, we can do this. We're fit pros. We can create these little groups and apps and get people involved from any social media network we want now. We don't have to be like, okay, I know we met on Instagram, but now we need to connect on Facebook, and then I'm going to add you to a Facebook group. To Lisa's point, like, it feels more professional and business-like to have this really cool app that people can use and for us to run the business through. And on that same note, Lori, I'll ask you, because I feel like when you were considering the business, you were on Instagram, and that's sort of how you kind of learned about it and the whole thing. I mean, I feel like it's going to appeal to Instagram potential coaches who are into like this whole world of starting making fitness your business, and having the opportunity to just bring over these people that are following them into this app to run a group, rather than having to switch everything over to Facebook. So I think it's an opportunity for prospective coaches as well, which is really exciting.
I feel like I'm having a hard time like switching between Facebook and the app, because I feel like the app is like, because I'm still learning it. I'm actually running a challenge group through it now. I think I'm having a harder time than the challengers are, but like I finally got into a flow with Facebook, and then having to like kind of like put the brakes on that and like switch over from Facebook to running it mostly through the app has been like a challenge for me, because I feel like it's just the dynamics of working through it are different. And I feel like I must not have notifications set up or something, because I feel like I have to constantly log in to see what people are doing. I don't know. I'm like still on the fence about it.
What I did, I don't think you can get like email or notifications to your phone as to what everyone else is doing. I just think that your challengers can get notifications as to what you're doing as a coach. But what I did is like, I just made it a habit of every morning, just like I'd go through a challenge group, I would just go through that like drill down of all of my challengers, and then kind of sift through the group feed. I think there's a way, because I know like if I did a post and like someone commented, I'd get a notification. So there might be ways just to deal with your notifications.
I think I must not have something set up right, because I don't get like the only time I know someone's commented is when I go in and look for it. So it's good because I'm going in and being more active about it, but I feel like I'm also missing stuff. Like if I'm not getting back to them, like with Facebook, it's instantaneous. Like, if someone commented and you can get right back to them. I feel like with this, there's like that delay, and I don't want people to feel like they're being ignored or their question wasn't answered. Or
I think that's a notification setting you might want to look into. I don't know where to find that right now, honestly, off the top of my head. But
I also think too that it could be beneficial to not always get notifications right away. Like, I think we're in this place right now with Facebook and technology where we get the dings all the time, and we actually become like, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I get more scatterbrained, like with all the notifications going on. I feel like I need to get back right away to everybody. Whereas I think it's okay for everyone to know, like, we are running a business. So a lot of us have jobs on top of that, or kids, or other things we're doing. So kind of my theme for this year is whatever I'm doing, at that time I want to be all present in. Like, I want to have my focus time for my business, my focus time with my kids, my focus time with my husband. So I think in a way this could really make it more business-like in that way too, that when it's time, when I've set the time for myself to check in with my clients, my customers, the challenge group, that this could make that a little bit easier to do in a way.
I agree with that actually 100%, because like I feel like with Facebook, everyone just expects you to get back instantaneously. I had a girl send me a message Friday after work, and I hadn't answered her by Saturday, and she sent me a follow-up and was like, do you have my information? And I was like, I looked at Nick and I was like, I don't want to work with somebody that expects me to get back like that on a holiday weekend. So I gave her a couple more hours and I responded politely. I was like, I'm sorry. I don't though. I was like, I'm spending time with my husband. It's Memorial Day weekend. Like, I will get back to you soon. But it's just like, I think with Facebook, people expect you to like
get back right away.
So fast. And I'm like, calm down.
I'll also say on the app, Melanie Mitro did an amazing team call on the Challenge Tracker app. And she talked about at the beginning too, about how she was nervous about transitioning over, because obviously she's done Facebook groups for a very long time. But it talked about why she likes it and how she's running it and how she's using it. So that might be beneficial for everyone to watch too. I know I'm going to rewatch it since I am planning on, I just need that extra push, so Lisa, make me do it. But I am planning on running my group starting on the 20th in the Challenge Tracker app. So for anyone who's coming in on that group with me, just know that it's going to be run in the, I would love that. Guys, seriously, like, if we could all let's all just do this group together. Like, that was sort of something else I want to talk about with everyone. I feel like, if you want to go off and do your own thing, I support you 100%. At the same time, if we want tons of engagement, if you're feeling unsure about running one on your own, just let us take the pressure off of that. Like, let us do this together. That option is always there for you. So I don't ever want you to feel like you have to do it on your own. Like, we're all here in it together. And I love the energy that goes on when we have lots of people in these groups. So that would be awesome, Lisa. And I would appreciate that too, since you've been there and done that. So when I have questions, I can be like, what do I do?
Lindsay, is this the free group you're going to do through it, or your next challenge group?
Challenge group. So the one starting on the 20th will be through the app. The free group I'm just doing, I don't even know how that would work. Would that be weird? Because of the check-in thing?
Yeah. Well, I think in the morning.
They have to have a Beachbody account.
Yeah, that too. So bad thing, it's free. Like, people can get free Beachbody accounts, so it's actually something maybe we should consider, is having people do that. But that another conversation for another time. But was this helpful, guys, this conversation? Does anyone after all that have questions on challenge groups at all, or thoughts or feelings or anything like that?
I have an unrelated question about the free groups. Do you guys usually, because I'm doing my first by myself, do you usually invite people to your free group, or do you kind of let people come to you instead? because I'm finding like engagement's like low with people being interested. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll just fire out some invites because maybe
fire out some invites. 110%. And the way I normally will do it is, I'm sure you know people in your life who are like you, who like the mindfulness, who like all of that. And all you have to do is say, hey, I want to let you know I'm running this group and I thought of you because I know you're really into this type of thing. You know, I would love to have you in the group to participate and also just give me some feedback, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So that would be amazing. And everybody should be doing that for all of our free groups as well as our challenge groups. You know, it's really important to, yes, we want to attract people through our posts, but then we want to connect. That's like step 2. You need to connect and then you need to invite. And I know that those second 2 things can be the scary part. But that's where you just need to connect with the reason you're doing this. And, you know, really briefly, I wanted to talk about Success Club. So I never shared this before, but when I first signed on as a Beachbody coach, right? And my coach Heather said, you know, Lindsay, you need to hit Success Club. And I was like, well, what is that? What is Success Club? That sounds weird to me. Like Success Club. I decide on what success is. You know, I was like, what is this thing? So that being said, I think the name isn't all that amazing. But then when I found out what it is, Success Club means we are helping people. We are helping 3 people a month. And so I really want you to all ask yourselves, what is your relation? Maybe this is going to sound weird, but what is your relationship with Success Club? What is your relationship with a challenge pack? Like when you think about a challenge pack and someone buying a challenge pack for you, are you thinking, oh my gosh, this feels great and awesome? Or are you thinking, oh my gosh, I feel icky and weird and the whole thing? You need to kind of understand and get a hold of your relationship with these things. And, you know, I'll tell you how I feel and why it's a no-brainer for me to set a goal for myself for Success Club every month. It's because I know that when someone buys a challenge pack through me, I cannot wait till they take their first sip of that shake. I cannot wait until they start feeling that energy boost. I cannot wait till they start losing weight. I can't wait until I get that feedback from them. I'm already thinking about that. As soon as we start having that conversation, right? I'm not thinking about the sale or the Success Club points or anything like that. So when you shift your mindset to that, when you're like, okay, I want 3 people to feel that this month. I want them to take that first step because I know what this is going to be like the change this is going to produce in them, you know, later on in a month from now. So if you can think of it that way, it makes Success Club and helping 3 people a month a no-brainer, right? And it kind of gets you through the fear of connecting and sending out personal invites and just reaching out to new people every day and saying hello and bringing these conversations up face to face. It takes the fear out of it. It takes the salesiness out of it. It changes your relationship with what we're doing. Does that make sense? Because I really want us all to rally together as a team. This team is literally exploding with potential, and we are at this tipping point, you guys, right now. And we 100%, I have this vision for us to be an elite team this year. And I want you to know how close we are to being able to make that happen if we all just help people every month. And that's incredible. So I want us to be able to celebrate that. I'm excited about it, and I know that we can achieve it together. So I just wanted to put that out there. Oh, good. Sam was just saying in about the challenge group. Okay. So I'll end on that note. Does anyone want to share, though? Do you have icky feelings about Challenge Pack, Success Club, like anything like that you want to just lay out there so we can, like, you know, get it out on the table? No.
Well, kind of. This month I'm trying something new because, like, you know this. Every month I'm like, I want to hit diamond, and then I never do because it just doesn't mean anything to me. I'm like, I have a diamond. I don't, it doesn't, like, I don't like it. So I know a lot of y'all are reading the desire map. Like, I flippin' love it. But this month, like, I literally wrote down, like, all of my, like, feelings I want to feel for the month and then, like, related those to my, like, June vision instead, because like writing out things like hit diamond, make this much money, like to me, I'm like, it doesn't mean anything to me. Like, it honestly, like, I don't like talking about money. I don't like business stuff is like not my cup of tea. So I'm trying that this month instead. It's like, instead of like hitting Success Club, it's like, help others feel good about themselves and, I don't know what else I wrote, like teach others to whatever. But it's just like relating to like how it'll make you feel at the end of the day, because then you don't go into it being like I would get like super frustrated with someone who's like, I'm going to order, and then they never do. And then I'm like, what the hell? Like it just never felt right. So I think like that's what I'm doing this month, instead of like aiming for these like ridiculous Success Club goals that let's be real, never hit. So it's like there's something wrong with that to begin with.
Yeah, and I think that's why I wanted to bring this up, because I think it really is your relationship with the words, with the feeling of it, and I know even in the Desire Map, it talks about figuring out your word for goal. Like, not everyone resonates with the word goal. Sometimes it's intention, sometimes it's aim, sometimes it's vision. Like, figure out what that is for you that makes you want to go for it, And, the thing about Success Club, like, yeah, that's like the business term for it. But if there's something else that works for you, whenever you see me write Success Club, then you can think change life or impact life or help someone or make someone feel better. Insert whatever word resonates with you, because this isn't just about getting points. And the truth of the matter is, you're not going to ever rank, advance, or make more money or achieve your dreams if you don't start with these simple things of helping people. Because we grow in this business by helping more people. That every single month, besides 2 months, I've hit Success Club. That's why my challenge groups are full. I have tons of challengers. All of you beautiful faces are staring, in front of me, because I'm helping people every month. So if that's your vision, you want to grow a tribe, you want to touch more people, you want to create this domino ripple effect. Like, when I look down to, Lori right now, you have started with me, and then Carrie's my coach, and Carrie has Lisa, and Lisa has Lori. Like, that is the friggin' ripple effect right there. I just screeched a little bit, but it is like, we can only touch so many people with our own hands. This is now, it's growing. Like, now we touch even more hands between all of us. We're bigger together. So I hope that all of you kind of come away from this experience, this call tonight, thinking about what Lisa and I were just talking about, and figure out what that motivation is for you. But know that touching 3 people's lives every month, why not? Like, that's why we're doing this. So why not figure out a way to connect with more people so that we can do that? Rant done. Mic drop. All right, guys, well, I'll let you all go. I'm sorry we went a little bit longer than usual tonight, but I think it was important to talk about all that. This will be in the team page for any coaches who weren't able to be on tonight. But thank you all for coming, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Thank you.